file opens differently tonight, because this one is not about a battlefield. It is about a bill of sale. This week, the United States put a 25% tariff on goods from Brazil, and the official reason, printed on the government's own letterhead, is unfair trade. An after-action report checks the stated objective against the ground truth. Tonight, the ground truth is 3 documents long, and by the end of the third one, the word trade will be doing work no honest word should have to do. The claim exactly as issued. The Office of the United States Trade Representative announcing the tariff. Today's action is necessary to address these unfair trade practices, to ensure American workers and companies can compete on a level playing field. Unfair trade practices. Level playing field. Those are the load-bearing phrases, and each one makes a checkable promise about why this tariff exists. So let us check all 3 facts the record keeps on file. Fact 1. The balance sheet. A level playing field tariff is normally a response to a deficit, a country selling far more into America than it buys. Brazil is the opposite case. The United States runs a surplus with Brazil, exporting nearly $42 billion more than it imported last year. Read that again, soldier. We are the ones selling more. A country that buys more from you than you buy from it is many things. An unfair trade grievance, it is not. Fact 2. The paper trail. The Section 301 investigation behind this tariff was opened in July of last year, and the government's own filing says how, at the specific direction of the president. The same week, the president was publicly calling the prosecution of Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro, since convicted of plotting a coup and sentenced to 27 years, a witch hunt that should end. And when the investigation wrote up Brazil's offenses, the list included, in the government's own words, Brazil's anti-corruption enforcement, and its courts ordering American social media companies to take down content. Read that list again. Prosecuting corruption is on it. Fact 3. This tariff has died once already. The first version was 50%, imposed under emergency economic powers, and in February the Supreme Court struck it down. What you are looking at now is the same penalty rebuilt on a different chassis, 25%, running on Section 301, a statute that does not need the emergency declaration the court rejected. It takes effect July 22nd. Look at the chart, soldier. When a court stops a tariff and the tariff comes back wearing a different law, the destination was never in question, only the route. The fair reading in full. Nations use trade tools as leverage for non-trade goals all the time. Done openly, that is statecraft, not scandal. Brazil's courts ordering American platforms to pull content is a genuine grievance a reasonable government might press, and Section 301 is a lawful instrument. Losing at the Supreme Court and finding a valid statute is how the system is allowed to work. If the announcement had said, "We are pressuring Brazil over its treatment of American companies and matters we consider political persecution," that would be an honest position you could debate on its merits. The claim actually issued was unfair trade practices. On the trade, the ledger shows a $42 billion surplus. The label fails on its own terms. Now the part the label conveniently skips. Who pays the 25%? The desk next door ran the receipt this very week. The import price index shows foreign sellers do not cut their prices when tariffs land, and 92 cents of every tariff dollar is borne by American buyers. That is this tariff too. And Brazil is already threatening reciprocal tariffs, aimed at the $42 billion surplus American exporters currently enjoy. Follow the trajectory. A political grievance, priced as a tax on American importers, inviting retaliation against American sellers. Both directions of that trade, ours to lose. And file the precedent, because precedents outlive the headlines that set them. This tariff uses American trade law to punish another democracy's courts for prosecuting a coup, and its paper trail says so in plain sight. It also demonstrates that a penalty the Supreme Court strikes down can simply re-enter through another door. Both of those lessons are now on the shelf, available to every future administration of every stripe, for use against any country whose judges do something a president dislikes. That is the real cost item, soldier, and it does not appear on any customs form. The honest after-action, then. The tariff is real, effective July 22nd. The grievances behind it are real too, and some are even arguable. But the label is the claim on trial, and the label says trade. A tariff on a country we outsell by $42 billion, opened at the president's direction the week he demanded a foreign prosecution end, citing anti-corruption enforcement as an offense, rebuilt to outrun its own Supreme Court loss, is not trade policy. It is retaliation with a customs stamp, and the toll for it lands on this side of the counter. Check the balance sheet, not the letterhead. That's the after action. Dismissed. I'm Mark, and this is Pixel Politics.